Conference, it's an absolute pleasure to be before you today, and I'm really proud that my shadow education team are all here with me and my staff who do such amazing work throughout the year with me. I said, what a year it has been, Conference, this last 12 months. Theresa May started it by warning of a coalition of chaos, and now, Conference, she's leading it. And her education ministers have spent the last few months ripping up their own manifesto page by page. They wanted to open new grammar schools, but Conference, they can't. They said they'd build 143 schools, but they couldn't. They pledged the Healthy Pupils Fund would not fall below 400 million. Now it will. And they promised they'd provide free school breakfasts. But unlike our colleagues in Wales, they won't. When we beat them in Parliament on tuition fees, they refuse to accept it. Instead, they will just stop turning up for the votes. They've gone from running the place to running away from the place. In fact, Conference, I went through their manifesto line by line. There are more education policies that are being reviewed or abandoned than are actually being implemented. They're binning their manifesto, we're building on ours. Conference, the next Labour government will create a national education service, a cradle-to-grave system supporting everyone throughout their lives. It will start in the early years where we know it has the most impact in changing people's life, just like my life was changed by a Labour government. Conference, when I became pregnant at 16, it was easy to think that the direction of my life and that of my young son was already set. My mum had a difficult life and so did I, and it looked as if my son would simply have the same. Instead, Conference, the last Labour government, through support from my local Sure Start Centre, transformed my son's childhood and made sure that his life would not have to be as hard as mine had been. So, Conference, when I say that politics change lives, I say it as someone whose own life has been changed. Yet those services, those crucial local services, are being lost across the country. We revealed today that since 2012, £437 million has been cut from Sure Start, nearly half of their entire funding. That means that more children and families with less control over their lives. And I'm proud to say that we will give £500 million a year directly to Sure Start, reversing these cuts in full. Because, Conference, to give every child a fair chance to succeed, we need to give them the best possible start in life. For too many, that simply isn't happening. The Tories, they promised free childcare to the children of working parents. They promised over 600,000 places, but they created less than a quarter of them. The most disadvantaged aren't even eligible, and costs are rising more than twice as wages. Today, we are publishing a report setting out the alternative: free, high-quality early education, universally available for every 2- and 4-year-old, and extra affordable care for every family, saving them thousands of pounds a year. So, Conference, our children will be ready for school, and when the children arrive, they won't be let down for a lack of resources there either. The government's latest U-turn was on their so-called fairer funding formula 2 weeks ago. Thanks to our pressure and the great, fantastic campaign that was run by parents and teachers, they've abandoned the cash cuts to schools. But Conference, the truth here is that there's no new money. Every single penny has been found by cutting other education spending, and they still won't meet their promise that funding will go up in real terms over the next 5 years. This means a continuation of real-term cuts to the funding of 88% of our schools, and they will hit the most disadvantaged areas the hardest. Conference, a Labour government would meet that promise instead: a fairer funding formula, but genuinely fair and properly funded. And Conference, we will remember the most important resource that we have: people. Learning needs teaching. Teachers will be at the heart of our National Education Service, and we will pay them properly to do it. Conference, that is why I'm proud that the Labour Party have announced that we will bring an end to the public sector pay cap. But it's not just about our teachers, is it, Conference? It's about our teaching assistants and our support staff too. Many of our support staff in our schools have lost so much that they're on the minimum wage. We will bring back national standards for them too. They look after our children, and we should look after them. As well as giving our schools the resources they need, we must ensure that they give every child the support that they deserve, because all our pupils deserve a good quality of life. So I am proud to say that as your Secretary of State, I will allocate £10 million from our departmental budget to end the scandal of period poverty in our schools. Conference, we have amazing Labour councillors up and down our country that do a fantastic job. And we know that councils are required to find a school for every child. But Conference, we will give them the resources to meet that responsibility. Unlike the Conservatives, we will help successful state schools expand and ensure that every child gets a place. So we will invest £8 billion into new school buildings where they are needed, and we won't neglect existing schools to do it. We will provide the full £13 billion needed for our existing school estate, instead of wasting millions of pounds on an inefficient and ineffective free schools programme. We will provide funding to ensure our schools are safe and that their flammable cladding can be removed, sprinklers can be installed and asbestos cleared. And the National Education Service won't stop at 16 or 18. Further education isn't just for those who didn't get the chance to go to university, it serves the majority of young people. They too deserve a world-class education. Instead, Conference, the Conservatives are happy to manage decline. Well, I will only be happy when we manage success. So, Conference, we promised in our manifesto that we will invest £1 billion into further education and to deliver the T-levels that are a true gold standard. The Conservatives, they keep talking about how they want to help young people, reducing fees, maybe capping interest rates, raising the repayment thresholds. I've got a suggestion for them, Conference. Stop talking about it and get on with it. But, Conference, our National Education Service is not just for young people either. That is personal to me too. At 16, I was out of school and looking for work, but without any qualifications to offer. I supported myself and my son as a care worker, looking after the elderly and disabled in their own homes. Low qualifications meant low wages. No skills meant no security. And as a trade unionist with Unison, I could change that, not just for myself, but for the carers I worked with and the people we cared for. Conference, workplace education meant that we had the chance to learn more and to earn more. Other people need that chance too. So our National Education Service will be lifelong, providing people at every stage of their life with good quality education. That is our National Education Service, not just another structure, not another new sign on a school gate. A promise from a Labour government to the British people and British business that we believe in all of them, in their talents, in their potential, in all that they give to our country, and that we will never limit their aspiration or their ability to succeed. It will set out the education that people can expect throughout their lives, the contribution that society makes to them and that they can make to society. Today, we outline the principles of that National Education Service in a draft charter, starting that conversation on how we continue to build it moving forward. And Conference, I look forward to that conversation, to visiting schools, colleges and universities, to talking to pupils, parents, teachers and businesses, so that we can truly build a national education service for the many and not just the few. Conference, education informs, it inspires and it empowers, because knowledge is power. I know that from my own life. We must ensure that power becomes the right of every person, whatever their circumstances of their birth. That means us giving opportunity to all, with a guarantee of lifelong learning whenever they need it. It means giving power back to our communities, ensuring that every single school in receipt of public money is genuinely democratically accountable to the people it serves. Conference, the Labour Party was founded to ensure that workers earned the full fruit of their labour. Well, the sum of human knowledge is the fruit of thousands of years of human labour. The discoveries of maths and science and the great works of literature and art, the arc of human and natural history itself, and so much more that there is to learn. All of it should be our common inheritance, because knowledge belongs to the many and not the few. Conference, this is the start of something amazing. This is our historic purpose as a movement, not just to be a voice for the voiceless, but to give them a voice of their own. That is the challenge we face, and it is what we will do together. We have got the government running. Now, let's get running the government. Thank you.